If I didn't go to college, there's no way I'd be where I'm at. They would absolutely have not ever looked at me for any of the jobs that I've had without a degree, period. And they weren't concerned about whether I had a science degree or a biology degree. They just want to know you've been to school, that you proved that you could get, to put the discipline in to go through 4 years of education. And that's a flat out requirement for most high-tech jobs, period. I know people now who've had successful careers who've had to go back to college to get a degree because they were being held back, even though they had 20 years of experience because they didn't have a degree. So depending on the career path you want and what industries you want to be in, there's certain ones that require it. So again, it's about improving your odds of getting into better opportunities. I chose Rolling State for a couple of reasons. Primarily, coming from a small town, it was a great way for me to come and transition into going into a school that I could feel like I transitioned to, compared to going to a major university where I was one of 150 people in a class. I just didn't think that environment was going to be good for me. Plus, I had a chance to play baseball with some guys I went to high school with. We all came down here together as kind of a unit and got to transition and still continued playing ball with the hopes of going into a professional career in that. So that, combined with being close to home and being able to transition into the college life, made it a very easy choice for me. I had a blast here. I lived with it. My roommate was from Indiana. My other roommate was from Pittsburgh. I met guys from all over the country. Had a lot of friends with the basketball and the men's basketball and women's basketball teams. Plus a lot of kids that lived in the local Rockwood and Harriman community and East Tennessee community. It was very much a community, and had plenty of friends. Had a lot of things to do. Some of the good times I had here, I remember going to Princess Theater in Harriman to see Saturday Night Fever, which was the big movie of the time. With two good-looking friends of mine from Rockwood, so that was a great memory of mine. I remember at Kingston Steam Plant, water skiing right underneath that bridge where those big smokestacks are, and how much fun we had on the lake over here. It's nice to go to college where a lake's 2 miles away. So we spent a lot of time on the water. Spent a lot of time just running to Knoxville and having fun. I felt I got a great education at Rome State, mostly because of the balance, just the pace and the balance, and having the freedom to choose where I wanted to go with what I wanted to take. And everything I took went straight into my university career, so I didn't have any issues with things not transferring over. So the quality of education, the workload was just as good. The quality of what I learned was just as good. And again, it was applied well in a business environment. So absolutely, I don't think I would have been as successful if I went straight to a university as I did here, just because it helped me to make that transition much smoother. When I left East Tennessee, that's all I knew. I mean, you only know the world that you grew up in, and I didn't realize how much was out there in this world. So when I moved to Texas and then got involved in the software industry, and I spent many years in Europe and Asia, and I've seen all that. And so understanding how small the world really is what opened my eyes to all that, and seeing the different cultures and seeing how people's lives are very similar regardless of the country you go into, and they want to raise families and they want to have a nice life and they want to have a good job. And I've made a lot of friends globally through my career. Living in Atlanta, you get surrounded by people who went to Duke and to Harvard and to Georgia Tech and all the big SEC schools, and they're all a lot of alumni pride and all that, and that's great. But I will put my career up against. I mean, I know plenty of people who have MBAs and major degrees that don't have the same career path I have. I've had architects that are very, very talented people who work for me. So it's not necessarily where you go to school. It's about what you do with it once you're out. And again, I don't need to come in with a Harvard degree. It helps in some environments, but you can get a degree from a lot of good schools, and Rome State's a good place to start that and move on to great things. And again, I'll put my resume up against a lot of people that went to those big schools. I had a blast at Rome State, and I would do it again. I would not bat an eye.